Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome students. Assalamu alaikum. Today is the online lecture number 14 of the Introduction to Computing course. Today we are going to study computer storage. So it's a different topic because so far we discussed a system unit, we discussed operating system, we discussed different types of memory, but computer storage also has its importance because the data is ultimately and permanently stored inside computer storage. So there are a lot of things to discuss. There's a lot of concept, and being a computer student, you should know what are the different types of computer storage. So with that, let us first see the objective of today's lecture. Today we are going to differentiate between storage and memory. So these are different terms. Storage is different, memory is different. We are going to describe the characteristics of internal hard disks. So what are the characteristics or properties of internal hard disk? We are going to describe the benefits of solid state drive. I recommend you people to have a computer with solid state drive of minimum 500 gigabytes. So solid state drive really enhances the performance of your computer system, and you will feel a great improvement in the performance or in the efficiency of computer system. We are also going to identify the uses of external hard disk, and the RAID technology. We are going to differentiate among various types of memory cards and USB flash drives. We are going to discuss benefits and use of cloud storage. We are going to describe characteristics of and differentiate among types of optical disks. And in the last, inshallah, we are going to explain the types of enterprise storage. We are going to identify the use of magnetic strips, cards, smart cards, RFID tags, and NFC tags. So with that, let us move straight to the lecture and start the lecture formally. So what is a storage? A storage medium is the physical material on which a computer keeps data, information, programs, and application permanently. Cloud storage keeps information on servers, on the internet, and the actual media on which files are stored are transparent to the user. So now what is the difference between a storage device and a memory? So the difference is that memory is volatile and storage is not volatile. So memory is not permanent, it is fast but it is not permanent, whereas storage is slow, your hard disk is slow but it is permanent. So both have their advantages and their disadvantages. We keep the memory because we want to enhance the speed of computer system, whereas we need storage because we want to permanently store data inside the storage. So obviously the better the performance of memory and storage, so overall the better the performance of computer will be. But there is another common term called cloud. Cloud is nothing but a remote server or a remote computer that keeps information permanently on server over the on the internet, and the actual media or the physical media or the hard disk on which files and documents are stored are transparent or hidden from the user. So user do not have to indulge or have to know about the complexities of how the data is stored on the cloud storage. So basically there are two tasks performed by a storage device. So a storage device is a hardware that records and or retrieves item to and from the storage media. So there are two functions, reading and writing. Reading is the process of transferring items from storage media into memory. So you read some data from the storage medium and you insert it or transferred into the computer memory, where further they are transferred to the CPU for the processing. And then the other task is writing. Writing is a process of transferring item from the memory to the storage medium and permanently storing data. So we read data and the storage device read data and it's write data. We read data and write data. Okay, so I think this is simple. So we have different types of storage device like internal solid state drives, external hard drives, memory cards that you people use in your smartphones and on your computer, USB flash drives, flash memory, cloud storage, optical disk storage, network attached storage device, magnetic strip card, smart cards, RFID tags, NFC tags, and internal hard disk. So these are the different example of storage device. But once again, I recommend you people to use solid state drive, the SSD in your computer. If you are using typical DDR hard drive, so obviously the performance will be not good. So that is why use SSD. Okay, with that, let us discuss each of these storage device in more detail. But before discussing them, we have to discuss some important concepts that you people will hear while you people are using different types of storage device. So what is the capacity? Capacity is the number of bytes a storage medium can store or hold. So for example, you have a storage term like kilobytes. What is a kilobyte? It is approximately 1000, and you can store 1024 bytes, exact number of bytes in if you have 1 kilobytes of storage. And then we have megabytes. So megabytes mean 1 million or 1048576. And then you have a gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte. So these are the capacity, like megabyte can store 1 million bytes, gigabytes can store 1 billion bytes, terabytes can store 1 trillion byte, and petabyte can store quadrillion byte. And then we have exabyte which can store quintillion byte, and then we have zettabytes which can store sextillion bytes, and then and the last we have yottabyte which can store septillion bytes. So these are the number, because obviously nowadays you people will buy a hard disk having a terabyte or a gigabyte storage space, and that will be enough for you people. So with that, let us move on and let us see how the storage device works. So item on a storage medium remains intact. It remains there. They are not lost even when you turn off a computer or a mobile. So these are the state of your computer. It can be on or it can be off. But if the screen is on, the computer is on, you see some data on the screen, but it is off, the screen is blank. If this computer is on, then the memory contains some data content of most of the RAM. It is volatile, means that when computer is turned off, the data inside RAM will be lost or it will be moved to the hard disk. So this is invisible tape. We have approximately 1.50 per roll. 6 roll will cost you $9 total. But so these are some data that are like stored in RAM. But if computer is turned off, you will see that there is no data in RAM. Okay, so the content of storage at the end are non-volatile. It means that whether the computer is on or off, you still have document storage, audio, video, all of your data or and information and programs on the hard disk. So non-volatile means permanent storage. The data is persistent. It is not lost. So item on a storage medium remain intact even when you turn off a computer or a mobile device. So there is a common term, important term called access time. And what is access time? Access time measures the amount of time it takes a storage device to locate an item on the storage medium. So the amount of time it takes a storage device to locate a particular item on a storage medium. So this is called access time. The time required to deliver an item from memory to the processor. So this is called access time. So we have, you can see we have storage. So, and memory. So the storage is slow, it has slower transfer rate, whereas the memory have faster transfer rate. Then why do we use storage? Of course, for permanent storage. So you can have SSDs, hard drives, USB flash drives, memory card, optical disk. So inside this storage device we store operating system, applications, user data information, including photos, music, videos, and backups. You can have digital photo or files to be transported on a USB flash drive or memory cards. You can have software, movies, or music on the optical disk. Whereas what does RAM contain? If the computer is turned on, RAM usually RAM usually is currently running programs and information they require, that are required by you people, by the processor. Content, it can be contents of screen display, commands sent between components of computer such as the hard drive, processor, video card, etc. So when the computers turn off, all of this data is vanished or lost from the memory, whereas the storage has the permanent data stored inside it, so the data remains there. Okay, once again I repeat, access time is the amount of time it takes a storage device to locate an item on a storage medium. So if you have this storage medium and this is some item, so access time is the amount of time it takes a storage medium to locate that item on the storage medium. So, and then the time required to deliver that item from memory to the processor. So of course you read it, and then you take it back to the memory, and from memory you give it to the CPU. All right. So a hard disk, also called hard disk drive HDD, contains one or more inflexible circular platters that use magnetic particles to store data. So you can see the hard disk mounted inside a laptop. You can see a hard disk mounted inside a desktop, and you can see the internal parts of hard disk, close up of desktop hard disk, close up of laptop hard disk. They are almost similar, but laptop hard disks are normally smaller in size. So we have these circular platter and flexible circular platter that uses magnetic particles. So we have magnetic particles on top of these platter to store data, instruction, and information. So once again, a hard disk, also called hard disk drive, contains one or more inflexible, robust circular platters that use magnetic particles to store data, instruction, and information. So the storage capacity of hard disk varies, and it is determined by the number of platters the hard disk contains. So you can have 2 plates, 3 plates, 4. So the more the platters, the more the capacity of hard disk will be. So whether the disk use a longitudinal or perpendicular recording, or whether what is the density of the hard disk. So all of these factors are important, and they determines the storage capacity of hard disk. So you can see now the internal structure at a very abstract level of the hard disk. Formatting is the process of dividing hard disk into track and sector. So when you format a hard disk, what does that mean? It means you are dividing your platters or hard disk into tracks and sector. So what is a track? So this red complete circle is called a track. So we can have a lot of tracks on hard disk, and then inside the track you have sector. So this red line is one sector, this is another sector. So you can have many sectors. And then we have cluster is nothing but combination of sectors. So these are the platters, these are the head. The platter or the plate rotates in a circular fashion, whereas the head move to and fro. Okay, so the characteristics of hard disk include the tracks, the sector, the platters. You can see these platters over here. These are the plates. The form factor, how they are formed, read write head, revolution per minute. So how the sectors, tracks, and cluster are formed. and a revolution per minute, how many times the plate revolves or revolves in 1 minute. And of course we have the read write head. You can see this read write head over here. Okay, so with that, let us see how the hard disk works. The circuit board controls the movement of head. So this is your circuit board. It controls the movement of head, which is to and fro, actuator and small motor. So this is normally an actuator and a small motor. And in step number 2, a small motor spins the plater while the computer is running. So when the computer is turned on and computer is running, this small motor spins the plater in a circular fashion. And in step number 3, what happens? The head. When software requests disk access, a read-write head determines the current or new location of data. So determine what is the exact location of the item to be read. And step number 4, the head actuator position the read-write arm over the correct location on the plater to read or write the data. So what happens? First, the disk is like the disk revolves, and then if a particular you get a particular uh, sector or a track, then in order to go to the particular sector, the head is moved to and fro in order to read or write the data. So you can see this read write head, and this is a plater, and this is a clearance area where you use some type of magnetic charge technology to charge a particular space in order to write some data or read data. And then this is the size of your hair, and this is a dust particle, and this is a smoke particle. So a head crash occur when a read write head touches the surface of plate. So if it touches the surface of plate, then your head crashes. Always keep a backup of your hard disk, and always keep your hard disk in a safe place. Otherwise, you may it may happen that your head crash. Okay, as I told you earlier, if you want to buy a computer with a solid state drive. An SSD is a flash memory storage device that contains its own processor to manage its storage. So it is fast, it is efficient, it is expensive, but I'll recommend you people to buy it because it will really enhance the speed or the processing of your computer. Why? Because it is completely electrical in nature, so there is no mechanical part. So that is why the it has its own processor to manage its operation. So it is really fast than your typical old traditional hard disk drive. So an SSD solid state drive has several advantages over traditional magnetic hard disks. It has faster access times, faster transfer rates, quicker operation. Quieter operation means it works very quiet, so it does not make any noise, does not consume a lot of energy. Your battery life is also enhanced and runs for longer period of time. It is more durable, lighter in weight, less power consumption, less heat generation, longer life, and defragmentation is also not required. So these are the advantages of SSD over traditional magnetic hard disks. So extra, and I also recommend you people to buy external hard drive. Why? Because you have your important data, and it is also good or important to keep backup of your data in a very safe place. So these are the example of external hard drive. So this is an external hard drive. We have another external hard drive. So external hard drive is a separate freestanding storage device that connects with a cable to the USB port or other port on a computer or a mobile. Why we use external hard drives? Because we want to keep our important data safe. We want to back up our information and data and other important files. So once again, if your internal hard disk is run out of memory, so you can transfer unimportant or unused data on the hard disk in order to on this external hard disk in order to have the storage space inside the internal hard disk. Okay, RAID is a technology. used commonly on the cloud. A redundant array of independent disk is a group of two or more integrated hard disk or SSD. So there are many hard disks or SSD that works together combinedly. So they are integrated. So this is an example of RAID, redundant array of independent disk. So mainly you can, if you have like budget, you can purchase them, but commonly they are used on the server side. So a RAID is a group of two or more integrated hard disk or SSD working together. So a memory card is a removable flash memory storage device that you insert and remove from a slot in a computer, mobile device, or a card reader writer. So there are different types of memory cards. We have SD, HC, SD, XC, mini SD, micro SD, HC, micro SD, XC, CF, XD picture card, memory stick, Pro Do, and M2. So these are example of memory card. Nowadays they are very cheap. So if you need them, so you can purchase them and use them. So these are some example, like you have 1 gigabytes of XD. You are using this memory card on some mobile devices or on side digital camera. You are using them on smartphones, on even on printer, tablet, card read writer, on laptops. So of course, these portable flash memory storage are used to transfer data or to keep backup, or to transfer some movies, pictures, etc. From digital camera to computer or smartphone. So how portable flash memory storage or how SD card works? In step number one, when you insert a memory card in a card reader writer or card slot, the memory card metallic conductor makes contact with connectors in the card reader writer or card slot, allowing the transfer of photos and other items between cards and a reading writing device. So this is the card reader. You insert it in some uh, media, and then the metallic conductor makes a contact with the connector in the card reader or card slot, allowing the transfer of photos and other items between card and reading writing device. In step number two, a notch on one side of the memory card prevents the card from accidentally slipping out of card reader writer or card slot. And then in step number three, so this is the notch, so it will uh, prevent the accidental slipping of cards out of the card read writer or card slot. In step number three, the flash memory chip stores photo and other types of data and information. When requested, the controller transfer items stored on flash memory chips to the metallic conductors using registers for temporary storage as needed. And then in step number four, some memory cards contain write protect switches which prevent you from accidentally erasing photos and other items stored in the flash memory. So you do not have to go into such detail, but remember these are the memory storage, permanently memory storage that you can use. So then we have portable USB flash drives, nowadays commonly used. USB flash drive plugs into the USB port, universal serial bus port on a computer or on a mobile device. Once again, they are used to transfer data between computers, among computers, and you can use them to back up your data or transfer data to some other computer. So we have then cloud storage. Cloud storage is a large memory used by computer server for storing a lot of huge amount of data. Even that cloud storage could go, beyond a large building. So cloud storage is an internet service that provides storage to computer or mobile device user. So for example, uh, uh, like have you ever recognized, or have you ever think that how you where your email are stored? So they are stored on cloud storage. Or you can see that, have you ever imagined that, uh, if you are like using Google Drive, so where these information and documents get stored, so they are stored on the cloud storage, and these cloud devices are transparent to you people, so you cannot see it, you can only use it. An optical disc consists of flat, round, portable disc made of metal, plastic and liquor that is written and read by a laser. So this is an optical disc. You use a laser to read and write data. So this is internal working of how a laser reads data on an optical disc. So you have an optical disc. This is a pit, and when the is light reflected or thrown on this pit, a laser diode shines a light beam towards the disc. So in step number 2, so you can see there you have a laser diode and a prism. So the light is shine toward the disc. So this is a light sensing diode. If the light strike a pit, it scatters. If a light strike a land, it is reflected back. So if a light strike a pit, it means that you are storing 0. Otherwise, if it is reflected back toward the laser diode, then you are storing 1, which means that you are storing data in a binary form. So you can see this laser diode, it is like throwing that light beam on the disk where this is a land and right is reflected back, and it is read as 0, where if the right is not reflected, then it is read as 0. If it is reflected, then it is read as 1. So reflected light is deflected to a light sensing diode, which send a digital signal of 1 to the computer. Absence of reflected light is read as digital signal of 0. Okay, so optical disc in structure is very much similar to okay, we are going to, inshallah, we are going to uh, continue this lecture, because I think we are running out of time. So inshallah, I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, Allah Hafiz and take care.